How does hyperactivity in adults present? My name is Dr. Ruth Otten. I'm a board certified adult psychiatrist, and usually we think of ADHD in adults as being more of the inattentive type because we're told, oh, the hyperactive symptoms get better as we get older. But there are still plenty of people with combined and hyperactive type in adulthood. So let's talk about what that looks like. We'll go through each of the DSM criteria. So the first one is going to be often fidgeting or tapping or squirming in your seat. So think about the adult who's constantly clicking a pen or flipping a pen back and forth in their fingers, or maybe they have fidgets in their office or wherever and they're constantly fidgeting with them. Next criteria is often leaving your seat in situations in which it is expected that you stay seated. So you can think about if you're in a meeting and you cannot just sit still. You have to get up, maybe go to the water fountain, go to the bathroom, go throw something in the trash, or maybe if you are staying seated, you're kind of constantly shifting, squirming around in your seat to get comfortable, but really it's to release some of that restless energy. Next is often running around or climbing in situations that it's unacceptable. Now, this is more a criteria geared toward children. So in adults, we just think of it as kind of internal restlessness. So similar to the last criteria, it's just that feeling that I can't stay still. I start to feel jittery if I'm staying still. Next is being unable to take part in calm leisure activities. So this isn't leisure activities that help the person get some energy out, like exercise or playing sports or playing with your kids, right? These are like calm activities, like maybe watching a TV show or reading a book. And it's just really hard for people with hyperactivity to sit and do those things. So you may find them multitasking. So they're watching TV, but they're on TikTok and they're coloring at the same time. Or maybe they try to read a book, but they know that realistically they can only read about a page or two before they get bored. So they have very short bursts of focus. And the next criteria is being always on the go, as if driven by a motor. So this is the person who has a day off, but they pack about a million things into that day. So they're not actually resting at all. Or maybe it's someone who's prepared dinner, but then when it comes down to sit down for dinner, they can't actually relax and sit down and eat with the family because they're constantly getting up to clear something from the table, to get a drink of water, to turn the oven off, whatever. And the next is talking excessively. So a lot of adults have learned that talking over people, talking all the time is not socially acceptable. And so they've learned to suppress that urge, but the urge is still there. So in adults who are hyperactive, they may continue to talk a lot in social situations, or they may just constantly have the urge to talk and be suppressing that. Similarly, the next criteria is often blurting out the answer before a question's been finished. So this might happen in work, right? You're in a meeting, your boss is trying to ask a question and you just can't help yourself. You have to answer right away because the thought popped into your head and you need to communicate it. Or it might happen more in your personal life, in relationships in which you're more disinhibited. So with your partner or your family. And this can cause a lot of tension in relationships when your partner doesn't feel that they are being listened to or heard. And the next criteria is going to be having difficulty waiting your turn. So none of us like to wait in lines. None of us like to wait for things, but with ADHD, the hyperactive type, it is kind of a next level, right? This inability to wait your turn is getting in the way of you doing things. So this might look like becoming an aggressive driver, not being able to drive safely when there's traffic, or maybe you need to get some errands done, but you go into the store and the line is so long, you just can't cope. You can't wait for that. So you go without doing that errand. And then lastly is going to be often intruding or interrupting others. So this is again that I have this thought in my head, I need to say it before I forget it, right? Or it may also be due to impatience, right? Someone's asking a question or trying to say a thought and you're just like, I think I know what they're trying to say. And so I'm going to finish their sentence for them because they're going too slow. Again, a lot of adults with ADHD have learned to kind of suppress this because, again, it's not very socially acceptable, but the urge to interrupt and finish people's sentences is still there. So we can see that hyperactivity definitely still exists in adults with ADHD, but that it may manifest differently because they've learned to control some of these symptoms, or they've learned more acceptable ways for their ADHD symptoms to come out. So what about you? In what ways do your hyperactive symptoms come out? Wishing you all good mental health today, and I'll see you in the next one.